Your eyes adjust to darkness within 30 seconds. By 2 minutes, your pupils have dilated as much as they can. But your brain hasn't finished adjusting. It's still searching for light that isn't there. And that's when something strange begins to happen. Not slowly, suddenly, your mind starts to create. Your mind. You might think total darkness would feel empty, silent, a kind of mental blank. But people who have spent hours in complete darkness, in sensory deprivation tanks, in caves, in sealed chambers, report something different. They don't feel nothing. They feel everything. Colors bloom in the void, shapes move across the darkness, voices emerge from silence. The longer they stay, the more elaborate the experience becomes. And this isn't imagination. This isn't the power of suggestion. This is neuroscience. Without visual input, your visual cortex doesn't go to sleep. It wakes up. The part of your brain responsible for seeing, the visual cortex, usually processes information from your eyes. It's a translator. Light hits the retina. Electrical signals travel up the optic nerve. The cortex interprets those signals and creates what you call vision. But when there's no input, the cortex doesn't simply wait. It begins to fire on its own. Here's where it gets interesting. Your brain isn't actually a passive receiver. It's a prediction machine. Right now, even with your eyes open, your brain isn't simply recording what's in front of you. It's constantly predicting what should be there. Your eyes send up snapshots. Your brain says, based on what I expect, here's what you're seeing. When the predictions match the input, you feel certain about reality. When they don't, you notice something is wrong. But in total darkness, there is no input to contradict the brain's predictions. The brain is still running the same prediction engine. It just has no referee, no correction, no constraint. So it generates increasingly elaborate scenarios, colors, patterns, movement, sometimes faces, sometimes entire worlds. The word hallucination sounds pathological. It sounds like something is broken. But that's a misunderstanding. Your brain hallucinates all the time. Right now, what you experience as normal vision is a controlled hallucination. The brain predicts, your eyes correct. In darkness, the brain keeps predicting, but there's nothing to correct it. So the hallucinations continue, grow more vivid, and eventually feel completely real. People in total darkness also experience something strange with time. Minutes feel like hours. Hours feel like minutes. This happens because your sense of time depends on sensory landmarks. You track time through change, light getting brighter or dimmer, sounds, movement, hunger, bathroom breaks. In total darkness with no external stimulus, the brain has no reference points. Time becomes plastic, subjective. Some people in sensory deprivation tanks for 1 hour swear they've been in there for 4. Others say an entire night has passed when only 30 minutes have elapsed. Your brain's internal clock is revealed to be a prediction machine too. Here's what most people never realize. This isn't what darkness does to a broken mind. This is what happens when the constraints are removed from a normal brain. You hallucinate in darkness not because something is wrong with you, but because hallucination is how your brain normally works. The hallucinations in darkness are the same process that creates your everyday perception of reality. The only difference is the input. With input, the predictions are constrained. Without input, they run free. You are constantly hallucinating. Reality testing moment by moment through sensory input. Remove that input and you see what your mind is actually made of. This reveals something profound about consciousness. You might think consciousness is about receiving information, being aware of what's outside you, but darkness suggests something different. Consciousness might be the brain's ability to generate experience, with or without external input. A person in total darkness is not less conscious than you are now. They're just conscious of something different. Their consciousness has turned inward. They're experiencing what the mind looks like when it's freed from the constant correction of sensory reality. Think about your dreams. Every night, your mind creates entire worlds, convincing sensory experiences, but you're not receiving any sensory input. Your eyes are closed, your ears aren't processing sound, yet the brain generates vivid hallucinations and you experience them as real until the moment you wake. This is your brain in darkness, essentially. In REM sleep, your brain is generating the experience of reality without any external input at all. The only reason you know it's a dream is that when you wake, a more powerful sensory signal overrides it. But while you're dreaming, it feels completely real. Of course, total darkness also triggers anxiety. This is evolutionary. For millions of years, darkness was where predators lived, where you couldn't see threats. So your brain has circuits that treat darkness as a danger signal. In modern life, most of us can flip a light switch. We've removed the darkness from our environment, but that ancient fear system is still there. When you're in total darkness, you're not just experiencing hallucinations. You're experiencing mild activation of your threat detection system. The mind is trying to keep you alive. It's doing what it was built to do. So, what happens to the human mind in total darkness? It reveals what the mind is: not a camera, a story machine, not a passive receiver, an active creator, not enslaved to external reality, but constantly interpreting, predicting, and generating experience. The mind in darkness is the mind without constraints. It's the mind freed from the constant correction of sensory reality. And what it does is create. It dreams while awake. And in that creation, you discover something about consciousness itself. That awareness is not about receiving the world, it's about generating it. And the moment you understand that, you can never look at your own mind the same way again.